Just like in any other job hunting venture or job hunting escapade, one of the key things or the most important thing would be one's resume or CV. Guys, today we want to talk about some of the things or some of the essential things one need to include in a CV or resume for a charity worker visa, because we spoke about this visa and a lot of you gave a lot of feedback. And I mean, it's a pathway for one to relocate to the UK. It's a gateway to the UK, depending on how you want to approach it, depending on how you view it as an opportunity. And of course, we spoke about all the benefits, you being able to bring a dependent, your dependents being able to work, and all the benefits in the previous video. And guys, I do hope you watched it. And if you haven't, please do make sure you are going to watch it. And guys, in this video, we want to focus on the essential things that one can include in their resume to stand a chance to land a role with a registered charity in the UK, and in the end, probably get a COS and see their way on a plane to the UK. Guys, a big welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Florence. If you're watching me for the first time, on this platform we do talk about life in the diaspora, life abroad, and I love to talk about the UK because that's where I am. I relocated to the UK 2 years ago, coming up 3 years now, and it's going on great so far. I relocated on a skilled worker visa, on a care visa, and as such, I love to look at other options because, I mean, it may not be for everyone. It may be for others, but not for everyone. So we do love to explore other avenues as we want to achieve our goal for, making diaspora journey accessible, making the diaspora journey believable for anybody. So guys, without wasting much of our time, I will get into the crux of the video today, the essentials to a CV or resume for a charity worker visa. So guys, I will not be showing you a typical resume or a typical CV because that takes away from creativity and all the personal input that one would put in their CV. So I understand you've got your own template, but before I go into the essentials that I want to talk about today, I would like to maybe just give you a quick rundown of the structure of a resume. I mean, of course, on the top section, the first section will be your personal details section, where you put your name, your contact details, your address, and everything, your emails. Guys, we're not expecting people to be putting their picture or telling us they're married or their age. We are not interested in that. And just in the interest of wanting to keep your CV very short, precise, and to the point, so you just put in the essentials, which is your name, your contact details, your emails, and everything else. And after that, there is the personal statement bit. This is like a professional summary. It's an introduction to who you are professionally and as a person. It's more of you selling yourself, more of you telling whoever is going to read or your prospective employer about you. So you need to capture interest. You need to draw somebody's attention to say, who is this person? I mean, make them curious, make them want to talk to you before you even highlight your skills, your qualifications, your qualities, and everything else. But that should be quite catchy enough. So I trust you with that. I trust you to do a good job with that. So straight after that, the personal statement bit, this you should maybe keep it to maybe 3 to 5 sentences. You should have summarized who you are professionally. You should have introduced yourself in 3 to 5 sentences. That's what I would do. So after this one, you go on to the skills section, which is what I want to talk about today. Why did I focus on skills? This is to cater for everybody. You could be saying, I don't have any qualifications whatsoever, but I want to assure you that most employers, especially abroad, they do focus more on your skills, on your achievements, rather than your qualifications. So fear not, be calm, and go on to apply. So I'm going to give you some of the skills that I do believe are quite handy if you want to work for a charity or if you want to be a volunteer, especially abroad. This is not exhaustive. There are quite many, but I've actually selected a few that I do feel if we approach them or if we include them in our resume, in our CV, these could come in quite handy. So first and foremost, I would encourage somebody to talk about their fundraising skills. Why did I choose to talk about the fundraising skills? Is the fact that charities, most volunteer organizations thrive on donations, thrive on well wishers funding their cause, funding what they're doing. So part and parcel of the skills that they'll be looking for in volunteers or in whoever that would want to work for them is the fact that, does this person understand that we need to persuade well wishers to, fundraise or to donate to the cause? So you need to show or to portray your planning skills to say, I can organize successful fundraising events. Such examples, you need to maybe give an example to say, oh, I organized 3 marathons or in a row, or I've been a custodian of such and such an event or such and such work for charity in my community, which has been successful. So these things are what you need to focus on. I'll give you an example. If you're Zimbabwean, you can talk about I want you to look at what other charity cause champions like Anna Chibebihonda is doing. She's championing this Pad the Girl thing. That's a charity, that's volunteering, that's a cause. So if you are focusing on how successful, how many Pad the Girl events she has actually organized, that's a skill. That's an achievement, to be fair. So if you've done something similar to that, I've just given that as an example. So if you've actually done similar things or a similar event or events, then quantify and put them in your resume. The second thing I want to talk about is your volunteer management skills. Why did I talk about this? This would be similar to like teamwork. Why do I say that? It's because most of these charities employ a group or teams of volunteers. So they employ so many volunteer workers. So it's quite essential that if you're wanting to join such an organization, you need to be able to work in a team of volunteers. Part and parcel of the things that you need to bear in mind is the fact that you are working with people that are actually working for free. They're just providing their services, they're providing their time for free. So it means you have to work in a very healthy environment. You need to be able to motivate your team members. You need to be able to delegate and to work in a diverse team, diverse work environment, or diverse work group. What that does is that you encourage others, you encourage your team to realize results. So it's very, very important that you can manage, you can delegate, you can train others within that team. It's a skill, it's quite essential. The third thing I want to talk about is your community outreach. This is your ability to work with communities. Why did I pick that as a skill? It's because most charities do work with marginalized communities, minority communities, diverse communities. These are hard to get on board, hard to convince, hard to engage with. So it takes skill for you to be able to sell the idea, sell the cause, propose a cause to say, this is what we're doing. We've been doing this in such and such a community, and we would love to work with you. And to get them on board, it takes skill. It takes something special. So you got to have that within you. The ability to build relationships with people that are a bit reserved, a bit conservative when it comes to people approaching them. So you have to have the skill. You have to have the ability to deliver impactful programs, impactful progress within those communities. The fourth, which is last but not least, skill that I want to talk about is your grant application writing skills. But for somebody who has never had something like this, it's because some of these charities get their funding from maybe local councils, the government, or even companies or organizations that do operate in the same space as them. So what they do is, it's you who volunteer with that charity or the champions for that charity who understand your cause. So because you require funding, you need to reach out to the wider maybe corporate or to the government or to the local council through writing to say, this is what we're doing, this is how it's going to benefit the community, this is how we want to champion our cause, all that. So your ability to articulate that in writing and end up getting funding, it takes skill and expertise and competence. And if you are that person who's got that skill, who has got that knowledge, who has actually done it before, don't shy away from putting it in your resume to say, I've actually applied maybe 3 or 4 times with this charity or for this cause, and we ended up maybe getting $10,000 in funding from such and such an organization. It's quite key because these organizations rely on donations and funding from communities, from local councils and the government, and well wishers as well. So guys, this brings us to the next part in our resume that I want to talk about. This is the qualifications section. This is not to say if you've got no degree or no diploma or no qualification, you shouldn't apply for this charity worker visa. You can and you should, because like I said, it's not like they wholly focus on qualifications alone. They focus on skills, they focus on competences and achievements as well. So it's a whole spectrum of things that they consider. So but then we are going to talk about qualifications. So in this section, you go on to talk about whether or not you've got a degree or a diploma in anything. I'll give you an example to say you could be having a diploma in research and development studies, a diploma in social work, a diploma in maybe clinical, whatever, or finance, marketing, things like that, IT. Don't underestimate that expertise, that knowledge that you have. So don't shy away from mentioning that degree or that qualification you have, because you just never know. We live in an age where any qualification, any form of competence can be exploited, can be fully utilized to achieve a cause. So don't shy away from mentioning the fact that you've got a degree in something. You just never know where it fits. So in this section, you go on to mention what degree or qualification you have got, which institution did you do it with. I'll give an example to say with the University of Zimbabwe. Well, I don't mean to discredit any other unis. It's just the one that came to mind while I was doing this video. So it could be from anywhere else. It could be from a polytechnic. It could be from a vocational institution. Just put it down. So you go on as well to state the duration, to say this was from 2010 to 2014. So that's very, very important. Also, you could be having maybe some certifications. This could be like maybe short courses that you attended. These could be maybe safeguarding of adults and children. It's very, very important. First aid. This is very, very important. Grant writing workshop. I've spoken about this. I'm passionate about it because it's a skill that could benefit a charity, that could benefit a voluntary organization in a big way, because funding is everything. For them to achieve their cause, there has to be funding. You could be having maybe a certificate in IT, put it down, a certificate in maybe social media management or marketing, put it down, because no course or no competence is not important. They will find a way of making good use of it. I'll give you an example to say, if you are good at marketing or branding and designing, you could make flyers for them to give to well-wishers, or to give to everybody, for everyone to understand what they stand for and the work that they do. And this could attract even more volunteers or more support or more finance, depending on what their target is. So don't shy away from putting that down. Then after that, there is a section that I would want to include in their CV or resume. This is the volunteer experience section. This is to say, we are volunteers. You are applying as a charity worker. So your volunteer experience is very, very key. So what do you include there? You go on to include the organization that you volunteered with. I'll give an example to say, maybe Shingele Children's Home. You go on to state where is that. That's in Chirezi in Zimbabwe. I'm from Zimbabwe. That's why I'm giving examples about Zimbabwe. But you could be watching me from anywhere. Just give examples of those charities that are within your community. It's quite important. Also, you go on to list at least 3 to 5 responsibilities that you had within the charity. What that does is it gives somebody an idea to say, this is somebody who has been in a similar role. This is somebody who is knowledgeable. This is somebody who has got experience in dealing with charities. If you've worked or volunteered with 2 or 3 charity organizations, wow, that's quite good. You just follow the same format where you state what the charity's name is, where they are located, what they do, and your responsibilities in that portfolio. So that's quite important. So there could be other additional things that you want to add. Maybe you hold a driver's license, or maybe you are affiliated with a professional board or anything. Include that. Those things come in handy because it shows that there are other things besides the role that you're applying for. There are other things that you can do that are quite important for that role in particular. Guys, before I end this video, there are other tips that I want to give you as you write up your resume. This is about, there's 2 things that I want to encourage you to do as you do your resume. The first thing is for you to quantify where you have worked, maybe with, or maybe you've worked in a team of maybe 50 volunteers. That's quantifying your stating numbers, where you've written a grant application letter that resulted in you maybe, or your charity being awarded or being financed up to a tune of $50,000. That's quantifying. So if you've achieved those things, it shows a lot. Those are your achievements. Those are some of the things that you've done. So mention them by quantifying. It goes a long way. The other thing, the second tip that I want to give you is use language that is action-oriented language, because you're wanting to work for a cause, you're wanting to work for an organization which is result-oriented, action-oriented. So some of the languages that you can use is planning, raising awareness, plan successful fundraiser events, volunteer management, teamwork. So such language is very, very key.